After 70, every step matters more than ever. And sometimes, the way you walk says more about your future than any doctor can. You may not realize it yet, but one of the clearest signs of how long you'll live, how well you'll live, isn't hidden in your genetics or your blood tests. It's something simpler, more visible, and quietly powerful: your walking speed. That's right. Sign one. Your walking speed may be telling you far more than you think. Let me tell you about two men, Joe and Frank. Both are 75. Both live in the same town. Both love their grandchildren and their morning coffee. But their mornings look very different. Joe wakes up with the sun. He stretches, ties his walking shoes, and sets out on his usual route: past the bakery, the old church, the corner shop where the clerk waves at him daily. His pace is steady, not rushed, but his steps have rhythm, purpose, confidence. Frank, on the other hand, sits at the window. He used to join his wife for morning walks, but now stairs make him hesitate. His feet shuffle instead of stride. He often leans on the wall when turning. Lately, crossing the street feels like a chore, not a freedom. Their medical histories? Similar. Their lifestyles? Not so different on paper. But their steps tell different stories. Researchers have studied thousands of seniors and found something striking. The faster and steadier your walking speed after 70, the longer and healthier you're likely to live. Why? Because walking speed reflects muscle strength, heart and lung function, circulation, balance, even cognitive health. When your body begins to slow down, it's often your feet that speak first. And when your steps become hesitant, your future may be doing the same. You see, a slow walk isn't just about age. It's often your body's quiet cry for help. It might be telling you, "I'm tired. I'm weaker than I used to be. I need your support before I lose my independence." Let's step into another life, Sarah's. At 72, Sarah still walks the market every Thursday. It takes her longer than it used to, but she doesn't mind. She waves to neighbors, smells the bread to bakery's open door, and pauses at the same garden to admire the marigolds. One day, her daughter says, "Mom, let me drive you, it's faster." Sarah smiles, puts her hands on her hips, and says, "Maybe, but fast isn't the goal. Walking reminds me that I'm still in charge of my journey, and I want my body to know I trust it." Her steps aren't perfect, but they're hers. Think of walking as a conversation between your body and time. Each stride is your body's way of saying, "I still want to be here. I still have somewhere to go." But what happens when your pace slows down, not because you choose to, but because you have to? What if the pace of your walk today is already hinting at the timeline of your independence tomorrow? Here's the hope: walking speed can improve. Even if you've slowed down, you can turn things around. Try this. Walk a little every hour, even around your home. Stand tall, focus on posture. Use light ankle weights or resistance bands to strengthen your legs. Practice heel-to-toe steps in a hallway. Walk while listening to soft music or nature sounds. You're not racing. You're reconnecting with your foundation. Every small step you take today builds stability for the future. Your legs are your pillars. They carry your strength, your freedom, your stories. And when they hesitate, they're not just tired. They're asking for help. Don't ignore them. Let's try something together. Stand up slowly. Take 5 steps across the room. Deliberate, calm, focused. How did it feel? Were you steady or cautious? Did you trust your knees? Did you wobble slightly? No shame. No pressure. Just awareness. Madame Colette is 79. She lives alone, climbs 2 flights every day to feed her cat, and never misses her Saturday walk in the park. Not because she needs the exercise, but because she fears the alternative. "I don't want my legs to forget me," she says. "So I keep walking, even when I'm tired, even when it rains." Her secret? She started with just 3 minutes a day. Now she walks 30. So remember, sign one. Your walking speed is not about going fast. It's about going forward, strong, aware, present. Because the day you stop walking confidently is the day life starts walking ahead of you. Let's not let that happen. But what if the next sign isn't about how you move? It's about how you hold on. Because the strength in your hands might quietly reveal how long you'll hold on to everything else. They say life is about letting go. But after 70, how tightly you hold on might reveal how long you'll stay strong. You might not think about it often, but there's something in your body right now that quietly measures your strength, your independence, and even your chances of living longer. It's not your heart, not your legs, not your memory. It's your hands. Sign 2, your grip strength. One of the most underestimated but powerful predictors of how long and how well you'll live after 70. Lyon is 78. He still wears his wedding ring, still makes coffee every morning, still walks to the post office on Thursdays. But one afternoon, while trying to open a jar of marmalade, something shook him. He couldn't twist the lid, not even after running it under hot water, not after tapping it gently on the counter like he always did. He sighed, then called his granddaughter over and handed it to her without a word. She popped it open in 2 seconds. He smiled, but deep down, something cracked. That wasn't just a jar. That was a message. Your hands aren't what they used to be. Researchers have found that grip strength is directly correlated with overall health, especially in seniors. Why? Because it reflects muscle mass, nerve health, circulatory strength, coordination, bone density, and even heart function. A weak grip doesn't just make jars harder to open. It can signal a greater risk of falls, frailty, hospital stays, and even shorter life expectancy. If your hands are letting go too easily, what else might be slipping away? Elise, 73, writes in a leather-bound notebook every morning. 3 pages. Thoughts, prayers, to-do lists, gratitude entries. But lately, she's noticed something new. Her pen feels heavier. Her fingers cramp halfway through the second page. One morning, she drops the pen twice. Not clumsiness, just tired fingers. Instead of worrying, she decides to fight back. She finds a pair of soft resistance balls and starts squeezing them each evening while watching TV. I don't want to lose the stories in me, she says. And to write them, I need my grip. Your grip is more than just physical. It's your handshake, your steering wheel, your spoon, your toothbrush. It's your link to control, to dignity, to independence. If you've noticed your grip weakening, here are a few gentle ways to rebuild it. Tennis ball squeeze. Hold for 5 seconds, rest, repeat. Finger lifts. Place your hand flat on a table. Lift each finger slowly. Wrist rolls. Rotate your wrists in slow circles. Jar twists. Practice opening and closing jars or bottle caps. Towel ring. Twist a towel gently as if wringing water. Even 5 minutes a day can slowly return strength to your hands. Your hands have held so much. They've cradled babies, held pens, stirred soup, dusted shelves, waved hello and goodbye. They built your world, gesture by gesture. And now, they're asking you, quietly, tenderly, not to forget them. Lucy, 10 years old, once told her grandfather, "Poppy, your hands are warm like blankets." He laughed. "They used to be strong like bricks." She grabbed his palm and whispered, "I like the blankets better." He smiled, but that night, he started hand exercises, because love makes us strong. But strength helps us stay to love longer. A handshake can say hello, or quietly signal goodbye. Which one is your grip whispering? At her annual checkup, Claire's doctor asked her to squeeze a handheld dynamometer. She laughed. "Why? I came for my cholesterol." He replied, "Because your heart might be hidden in your fingers. If your grip declines, chances are other systems are already slowing too." He was right. Claire's results were low. It wasn't panic-worthy, but it was a wake-up call. Now she ends every morning walk with 3 minutes of hand strengthening. And every time she opens a jar alone, she smiles. I kept my power. Take a moment right now. Pick up a fork, a pen, or a mug. Hold it, not tightly, but intentionally. Does it feel steady? Or does your wrist wobble? Can you hold it for 10 seconds with ease? It's not about judgment. It's about awareness. Because once you notice your hands, you begin reclaiming your strength. Sign 2. Your grip strength may seem small, but it's the kind of small that holds everything else together. Don't wait for the jar to tell you you're slipping. Rebuild. Reclaim. Hold on. Your grip may hold your story, but your next challenge might be even more invisible. It's not about strength. It's about trust. And you only notice it when it starts to slip away. Your balance. You don't notice balance until the day you start losing it. It's easy to take balance for granted. Standing, turning, reaching for a glass, stepping off a curb. But the truth is, balance is a quiet miracle, one that begins to fade long before we realize it. Sign 3. Your balance. One of the most sensitive and dangerous predictors of your health after 70. Gene is 80 years old. His mind is sharp, his heart steady, and his sense of humor still catches people off guard. But recently, something changed. He reached for the salt in the cupboard and stumbled. Not because he was dizzy, not because he was tired, but because his body forgot the simple choreography of weight and space. That moment, the slight sway, the sudden panic, wasn't dramatic. He didn't fall, but it left a mark on his confidence. I used to feel like I was standing on solid ground, he says. Now it feels like I'm on a boat, even when I'm in my kitchen. Medical research confirms it. After 70, our sense of balance declines. The inner ear, vision, muscles, and joints no longer work in perfect sync. This can lead to difficulty standing still with eyes closed, unsteady walking, increased risk of falling, slower reflexes, mental hesitation before simple movements. And here's the key. Loss of balance is often the first sign of deeper instability, both physical and cognitive. When your body starts to hesitate, your life might, too. Marie, 76, used to be a dancer. Her steps were light, her turns graceful. Now, she avoids escalators. She counts each step when descending stairs. She says, "It's not the pain I fear, it's the sudden surprise of falling." At night, when the world dims, her confidence dims too. She uses a cane in secret when she goes out after dusk, embarrassed but aware. Balance isn't just about legs. It's about trust in your body, in your movement, in your space. And when that trust starts to fade, so does your independence. Here's the good news. Like walking speed and grip strength, balance can improve gently, safely, and naturally. Try these. Single leg stand. Stand on one foot near a chair. Hold for 10 seconds. Switch legs. Tandem walk. Walk in a straight line, heel to toe, slowly. March in place. Raise each knee while swinging arms gently. Chair rises. Sit, then rise without using hands. Repeat slowly. Eyes closed stand. Try standing still for 5 seconds with your eyes closed. Be near support. Do you remember the first time you rode a bike without help? How your body knew before your mind that you could stay upright. That intelligence is still inside you. Balance is memory. Balance is confidence. Don't let it vanish quietly. One day, Noah, age 12, asked his grandmother, "Why do you move so slowly now?" She answered, "Because fast feet trip over time." He didn't understand at first, but later, he held her hand during a walk, and he noticed her steps weren't weak, they were careful. It only takes 2 seconds to fall, but the recovery can steal 2 years of freedom. Lucia, 82, slipped in her bathroom last year. No broken bones, just a bruised hip and a bruised spirit. She told her daughter, "I don't trust the floor anymore." But instead of giving up, she joined a local balance class. Now she meets 5 other seniors every Wednesday. They stretch, they laugh, they learn to stand with confidence again. Lucia says, "I didn't lose my balance. I lost my attention. Now I'm getting it back." Stand up near a wall. Now close your eyes for just 3 seconds. How did it feel? Were your feet steady? Did your knees shift? Did your breath tighten? That's your body speaking. And when your body whispers, you must answer. Sign 3. Your balance is a mirror of your inner world. When your body stands tall and steady, your life follows. But When your footing becomes fragile, it's not just about staying upright. It's about staying free. So take it seriously. Strengthen it gently. Reclaim it slowly. Because what you balance today may keep you standing tomorrow. You can walk. You can stand. But if your nights are restless, your days will always feel heavier than they should. Let's explore the quiet power of what happens when the lights go out. Your sleep. You fall asleep, but does your body rest? After 70, how you sleep may quietly predict how long you'll stay healthy, alert, and alive. Among all the signals your body sends, one of the most subtle and powerful is what happens between dusk and dawn. Not just how many hours you sleep, but how deeply, how peacefully, how restoratively. Sign 4, your sleep quality. Mireille is 75. She keeps a neat bedroom, lavender sachets in the drawers, a photo of her late husband on the nightstand, and books arranged like loyal friends. But most nights, her mind races before her eyes close. She replays memories, grocery lists, regrets, tomorrow's to-dos. She lies still and waits. Some nights, she falls asleep quickly, only to wake again at 2:17 a.m. like clockwork. The silence is heavy. Her body aches. She stares at the ceiling and whispers to the dark, "Why am I still tired?" She doesn't snore. She doesn't toss and turn violently. But she wakes up feeling like she never went to bed. Here's what research shows. Sleep quality, not just sleep duration, is a crucial predictor of longevity after 70. Why? Because sleep is when your brain detoxifies itself, muscles rebuild, hormones regulate, the immune system resets, emotions get filed and softened. But with age, sleep becomes fragile, light, fragmented, restless, and that fragmentation slowly eats away at strength, memory, and even balance. One study found that seniors who consistently wake up feeling unrest are twice as likely to experience cognitive decline, heart issues, and depression. What if your energy isn't fading because of age, but because your body never gets the night it needs? Daniel, 78, thought he was sleeping enough, 7 hours every night. But his daughter noticed something. He had begun forgetting things more often. He was easily irritable in the morning. He stopped reading before bed, a habit he'd loved for 40 years. Eventually, a sleep study revealed that Daniel had micro-awakenings every 8 minutes. Brief arousals his brain didn't remember. To him, it felt like sleep. To his body, it was a nightly storm. He started using a white noise machine, stopped caffeine after 2 p.m., and began stretching before bed. 3 weeks later, his mood lifted. He smiled more, and one day, he remembered his grandson's birthday without a reminder. Think about your own night. When you wake up, do you feel refreshed, or do you still carry the weight of the night? Do you toss and turn? Do you dream vividly or forget them instantly? Do you need naps just to function? Your body knows the truth, even if your clock doesn't. To improve your sleep quality after 70, try this. Consistent sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time, even on weekends. Cool room temperature. 18 to 20 degrees Celsius helps deeper sleep. No screens 1 hour before bed. Create a sleep ritual, reading, stretching, herbal tea, or prayer. Avoid long daytime naps. Keep them under 30 minutes. Limit caffeine and sugar after lunch. And most importantly, listen to how you feel in the morning, not just a number on your clock. Colette, 81, always loved the early morning birds. But lately, she was awake before them, lying in bed, mind spinning. She tried pills. They made her drowsy but not peaceful. So she tried something else. Ritual. She lit a candle every night, wrote a single sentence in a notebook, played soft instrumental music, prayed not to fall asleep, but to be still. It worked. Slowly. Now she says, "My sleep isn't perfect, but it feels more like a hug than a battle. A restless night whispers louder than your blood pressure, because exhaustion can mimic illness, and fatigue can dress up like aging." Musa, 76, had back pain, low energy, and struggled to concentrate. His doctor wanted to prescribe medicine, but his grandson asked a different question. "Grandpa, how old is your mattress?" He couldn't remember. They replaced it together, chose one with firm support, added an orthopedic pillow, and adjusted the sleep angle. 2 weeks later, Musa stood taller, joked more, walked farther. He didn't feel young. He felt rested. Sometimes the fix isn't inside you. It's under you. Try this. Take a slow breath. Close your eyes. Recall your last 3 mornings. Did you rise feeling clear or confused, energized or empty? Your answer holds more truth than any lab result. Sign 4. Your sleep quality isn't just about bedtime. It's about your resilience, your memory, your mood, your movement. Because when your nights are shallow, your days can never be deep. So tonight, don't chase sleep. Welcome it. Prepare for it. Treat it like the sacred ritual it is. You may wake up, but does your body truly rise with you? Sometimes, what fades isn't just energy, it's desire. And when hunger disappears, the body may be whispering a deeper truth, your appetite. Because after 70, how much you eat or don't might be the most revealing sign of all. At 30, we eat for pleasure. At 50, we eat for health. But after 70, what happens when hunger disappears? Among all the changes that aging brings, one of the most easily ignored but deeply revealing is a quiet shift in the kitchen. That moment when food no longer excites you, when meals become tasks, when hunger fades into habit. Sign 5, your appetite. Not just what you eat, but how much, how often, and how joyfully can tell a deeper story about your health and longevity. Therese is 82. Her pantry is tidy, her fridge well-stocked. But for the past few months, breakfast sits untouched. Lunch is just a slice of bread and tea. Dinner, maybe soup, maybe nothing, she tells her daughter. I just don't feel hungry anymore. She's lost 4 kilos in 6 months. No illness, no pain, just a fading relationship with food. And yet, the impact ripples. Her pants are looser. Her steps feel lighter, but not stronger. She bruises more easily, and she sleeps less deeply. It's not disease, it's disinterest. Medical research confirms this. A declining appetite in seniors can signal loss of muscle mass, early malnutrition, or even cognitive changes. It's called anorexia of aging, a clinical term for the body quietly choosing to eat less, even when it still needs fuel. Appetite loss is tied to slower digestion, hormonal shifts, medication side effects, depression or grief, reduced taste and smell sensitivity. When you stop wanting food, your body may stop preparing for life. Ibrahim was always a foodie. He grilled fish on Sundays, made spicy tomato stew, and taught his grandson how to roll plantain fritters. But since his wife passed, his stove stays cold. He eats standing up, often forgets lunch entirely. His daughter noticed a change, not just in weight, but in his voice. He sounded duller, faded. She visited and cooked a full meal, his favorite. He took one bite and paused. I forgot how flavors used to feel, he whispered. That night, he ate with both hands. And something in his spirit flickered back on. Think about your last meal. Did it excite you? Did it nourish you? Did it feel like an experience or just fuel? Your relationship to food after 70 isn't just nutritional. It's emotional. It's biological. It's diagnostic. If you notice your appetite fading, here are gentle ways to reignite it. Eat with others. Loneliness dulls hunger. Use herbs and spices to enhance flavor, especially if taste is fading. Add healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, or nuts for calorie density. Serve smaller portions, but more often. Keep colorful meals. Bright fruits, vegetables, and variety spark desire. Walk or stretch before meals to stimulate hunger naturally. And perhaps most importantly, make meals sacred again. Not rushed, not mechanical, but moments of care. At the local market, Lucy asked her friend Josephine, "Do you still cook for yourself?" Josephine smiled. "Only if I set the table. If I use the nice plate. If I light a candle. Even if it's just me." Lucy laughed. "That's a lot for soup." Josephine answered, "Soup doesn't fill you if your heart feels empty." When food becomes routine, life starts tasting like routine, too. Pascal, 74, had stopped eating breakfast for 2 years. I didn't feel hungry, he said. Coffee was enough. His doctor ran blood tests. His vitamin B12 was low. His energy was dipping. His memory, too. He didn't need pills. He needed morning nourishment. He began drinking smoothies. Banana, oats, peanut butter, cinnamon. The first week, it felt forced. The second, he started craving them. By the third, he added eggs and fruit. Now, he eats breakfast while watching the sunrise and says it tastes like starting over. Tonight, take a moment to set your plate just for you. Sit down, breathe, taste slowly. Notice what you feel. Then ask, did I eat because I had to or because I wanted to? There's a big difference, and it matters. Sign 5. Your appetite is more than about calories. It's about desire, nourishment, continuation. When you feed your body, you feed your story. Don't let hunger disappear quietly. Call it back with scent, color, memory, and care. You've walked, you've eaten, you've tried to rest. But what if your body still feels like it's bracing for something? Not pain, not illness, pressure. Let's talk about stress, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that quietly steals your strength, your stress response. Not in the stomach, not in the hands, but in the mind. Because after 70, how you manage pressure, inner and outer, can predict whether you'll rise or unravel. It doesn't matter how calm your life looks on the outside. If your body feels like it's always bracing for impact after 70, stress doesn't just weigh on your mood, it weighs on your years. You might think stress is something for younger people. Deadlines, commutes, noise, rush. But the truth is, stress after 70 doesn't scream. It whispers in tension, in fatigue, in silent heartbeats. Sign 6, your stress response. How your body and mind react to pressure, subtle or strong, is a deep predictor of your longevity and daily well-being. Bernard is 79. He doesn't argue, doesn't raise his voice, but his jaw aches. His shoulders are always tight, and he wakes up more tired than when he fell asleep. His doctor tells him his blood pressure is borderline. His daughter says he's become forgetful. He shrugs. I'm just getting old. But what Bernard doesn't realize is this. He's been living with chronic stress, the kind that hides in routine, in responsibility, in loneliness. And every day it stays, it chips away at the body's ability to recover, repair, and rest. Studies show that older adults with high cortisol levels, the hormone released during stress, face weaker immune systems, greater risk of heart disease, cognitive decline, sleep disturbances, poorer wound healing, shorter life expectancy. And yet, many seniors never notice their stress because it no longer feels like panic. It feels like heaviness, like breath that never reaches the bottom of the lungs. What if your body isn't slowing because of age, but because it's been stuck in survival mode for too long? Naomi, 75, lives alone since her husband passed. Her house is quiet, but her heart is loud. Every sudden noise makes her jump. She checks the stove twice. She worries the door is unlocked. She watches the news and feels her chest tighten. One night, she forgets to breathe deeply and feels her fingers tingle. Her granddaughter visits and says, "Grandma, your house is calm, but you don't look calm." Naomi breaks down, not because of the stove or the news, but because no one had noticed how much she was holding in. Close your eyes. Scan your body. Are your shoulders tight? Is your jaw clenched? Is your chest shallow? That's not age. That's your nervous system speaking. And it's asking for peace, not noise, not screens, not pushing through. You can't remove all stress, but you can transform your response. Try these gentle practices daily. Box breathing. Inhale 4 seconds, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. Leg elevation. Lie down and raise your legs against a wall for 5 minutes. Afternoon silence. No screens, no calls, just tea and stillness. Gratitude journaling. 3 lines every evening. Body scan. Mentally check in from head to toe before sleeping. Slow walks with music, not for steps, but for breath. These are not hobbies. They are repairs. Roger, 83 used to be explosive in his younger days. Now he bottles everything, but the pressure hasn't vanished. It's moved inward. He starts having chest discomfort, anxiety, restlessness. At a senior workshop, someone hands him a small wooden box and says, "Write what you can't say. Place it here. Let the box carry the weight." Roger chuckles, but tries it. One note, then another. 3 weeks later, he smiles more, sleeps deeper. He doesn't say the anger is gone. He says, "It's just not growing anymore." Stress is not just what happens to you. It's what stays in you when nothing happens anymore. Claire drinks tea every morning from the same porcelain cup her mother once used. One day, it slips from her hand but doesn't break. She looks down, heart pounding. Her grandson says, "You okay, Grandma?" She nods. "It wasn't the cup I was afraid to lose. It was my calm." That day, she calls a yoga therapist. She begins gentle stretching, breathing. She learns that calm isn't given. It's built every day in small pieces. Right now, place one hand on your chest, one on your belly. Close your eyes. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold. Exhale slowly. Ask yourself, when was the last time I let myself feel safe, completely, quietly safe? The answer may surprise you. Sign 6. Your stress response isn't about avoiding stress altogether. It's about softening your body's reaction, because tension kills slowly. But peace heals deeply. So listen to your breath. Notice your shoulders. Treat your nervous system like an old friend coming home from war. You can eat right. You can sleep better. You can move more. But if your days echo in silence, something vital may already be fading. Because the next sign doesn't live in your body. It lives in your connections. And sometimes loneliness hurts more than any disease. Because after 70, one of the most dangerous things isn't what hurts. It's what's no longer shared. You can take every pill, walk every day, eat all the right foods. But if you spend most of your time alone, your body still knows it's missing something. After 70, many seniors begin to see fewer people. Children grow busy. Friends move or pass away. Days stretch longer. Silence thickens. And yet, something deeper changes. The body slows. The heart feels heavier. And the will to engage fades. That's no coincidence. Sign 7, your social connection. Your relationships, or lack of them, have a powerful effect on how long and how well you live. Madeline is 84, widowed, 2 adult children who call, but rarely visit. Her neighbors are kind. She has groceries delivered. She's healthy on paper. Her fridge is full, but her voice is soft, like it hasn't had much use. She eats in silence, sleeps in silence, and when the TV isn't on, she listens to the ticking of the kitchen clock, like it's the last thing that remembers her rhythm. One day, she forgets to eat lunch, not out of protest, but because no one asked if she had. Loneliness after 70 increases risk of heart disease, stroke, cognitive decline, depression, premature death. In fact, prolonged social isolation can be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Your nervous system responds to company. When someone listens, touches your hand, or simply laughs with you, your brain releases oxytocin. Healing, soothing, protective. When no one does, cortisol rises, immunity drops, vitality fades. Open loop, verite cachet. Loneliness doesn't always feel like sadness. Sometimes it just feels like nothing. And nothing can be deadly. Jacques, 76, used to be outgoing. Church choir, domino tournaments, afternoon walks with neighbors. Then the pandemic changed everything. He got used to quiet, to distance, to shrinking his world. His doctor noticed weight loss, slower reaction, less sparkle in his eyes. One question changed things. When was the last time you talked to someone who didn't live in your head? Jacques started attending a seniors cafe on Thursdays. He said little at first. By week 4, he was back to leading the riddles table. Look around your life. How many real conversations do you have each week? Not transactions, not replies, Conversations. How often do you share a laugh? A silence that feels comfortable? A moment of true presence? We are not meant to vanish quietly in well-decorated homes. We are meant to be witnessed. If your social world has grown small, don't wait for others. Rebuild it one tiny connection at a time. Call one friend every week, even for 5 minutes. Join a local group or club, walking, games, reading. Volunteer, your wisdom is needed. Eat with someone whenever you can, even virtually. Write letters to old friends or family. Attend community classes, movement, art, gardening. And perhaps most powerful, be curious. Ask people questions. Ask them about their memories, their thoughts, their hopes. Human warmth lives in exchange. Awa, 79, had a beautiful dining table for 6. It stayed empty for 2 years. Then one Sunday, she invited 2 neighbors for stew. The first time, they stayed an hour. The next time, 3 came. They brought dessert. Now, every Sunday, her table fills, sometimes with food, sometimes with laughter, sometimes with tears, but always with presence. She says, I thought aging meant eating less. Turns out, it just meant setting a bigger table. Tonight, choose one person, a friend, a cousin, a neighbor you haven't spoken to in a while. Send them a message, call, write, knock on their door. Say something simple. I was thinking of you. I miss our voice in my day. You're not just keeping the connection alive. You're keeping your life alive. Sign 7. Your social connection is not a luxury. It's medicine for your heart, your brain, your spirit, and yes, your future. We are wired for togetherness, even if softly, even if slowly, even if with just one person. So don't let the world shrink around you. Open it one voice at a time. You just listen to your body's 7 quiet messengers. But now let's step back, because taken together, these signs aren't separate. They form a map, a rhythm, and if you read them with care, they can help you write a new kind of future. Starting now, because each sign you've seen is just one note, but when they're in harmony, they become a melody, a rhythm of resilience. There's no music in a single note, but when notes come together, they tell a story. So do the signs in your body. Over the last hour, we've walked through 7 signs. 7 small signals that your body, your mind, and your heart have been quietly sending you. They weren't shouts. They weren't alarms. They were invitations to slow down, to pay attention, to stay alive not just in years, but in experience. Your walking speed wasn't just about movement. It was a reflection of purpose, rhythm, the will to go forward. Your grip strength wasn't about jars. It was about holding on to life, to independence, to what matters. Your balance wasn't just staying upright. It was learning to trust your feet, your instincts, your place in the world. Your sleep wasn't just rest. It was recovery, mental housekeeping, the body's nightly prayer for another day. Your appetite wasn't just about food. It was about desire, your will to receive, to enjoy, to nourish joy. Your stress response wasn't about worry. It was about what still lives inside you and how you carry the weight of time. And your social connection wasn't about crowds. It was about being seen, heard, touched, remembered. These signs are small, but their silence is deceptive. They shape your days, your choices, your safety, and your story. Let me tell you one last story. Madame Ayel, 86, lives in a house filled with light. She walks every morning, slowly but proudly. She squeezes a rubber ball while watching her favorite game show. She waters her plants barefoot to feel the ground. She eats soup from a handmade bowl, always with a cloth napkin. She prays with music, not words. She calls her sister every Friday, even if the conversation is the same. She does small things, but she does them with awareness. She says, I don't fear dying. I fear forgetting how to live. That's what these signs are really telling us. You are still living, but how you live matters. Not with perfection, not with youth, but with presence. Because aging isn't the slow disappearance of life. It's the art of paying attention to what's still alive inside you. So the question is no longer, how many years do I have left? The real question is, what do I want to feel between now and then? Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine your body as a home. Your steps are the hallway. Your hands, the doors. Your balance, the floor beneath. Your breath, the windows. Your appetite, the kitchen's warmth. Your stress, the tension in the walls. Your relationships, the living room. Now ask, which room needs more care? More light? More presence? You don't have to renovate everything. Just begin by opening a window. You've listened. You've remembered. You've probably nodded quietly at one sign, or maybe all of them. That's not weakness. That's awareness. And awareness is where renewal begins. You're not here to fade. You're here to adapt, to feel, to contribute, to pass on, to bless. If your steps have slowed, walk anyway. If your hands have weakened, hold gently. If you feel tired, rest fully. If your appetite has dulled, add color, add spice, add love. If your stress has lingered, breathe until you find your own rhythm again. If you felt alone, reach, even once, even gently. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow. You stretch slowly. You breathe deeply. You drink water, not because you must, but because you're grateful. You place your feet on the floor and feel the ground welcome you. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. Still, the body doesn't lie, but it also doesn't give up. Every sign you noticed is also an opportunity, an invitation to live wiser, to live softer, to live longer on your own terms. So here's to your next breath, your next step, your next good night's sleep, your next spoonful of joy, your next smile shared over tea, your next day lived fully. You're still writing your story, and it's worth every word.